Hello, my beloved. This is Magical Michelle, and welcome to the Living Magically transmission for the week of February 9th, 2026. We are deep in the middle of the end of one of the deepest cycles we have literally seen in our lifetime. This is that final week of the year of the snake, and everyone is feeling it collectively. Literally, astrologers have been talking about this week for years, maybe a decade. I remember hearing about one of the transits happening next week in like 2020. In like 2020, I heard it referred to in 2017. I think it goes all the way back to an astrology report I read in 2012, I believe, where they said this was that next big portal after the ascension at 2012. So there's some big moments in time. It doesn't really matter how long, but it's a once in a lifetime experience. We have exactly 1 week until we end the year of the snake. So the invitation this week, I'm not gonna get too deep into what to expect for the future. I am really gonna focus down on right now. This week is about raising your personal vibration. If there is any last identity to shed, this is the week to do your best to let it go. If there is anything that is ultimately a bad habit, a thing that you've been holding on to too long, a person you have been like in 1 foot in, 1 foot out, this is the moment to check on that boundary and see if it is time to finally release. And whatever you do, at least take stock in the desire of where you're going and what you're becoming. And in that becoming, remember, you are awakening. You're remembering. You're actually remembering what we came here for. There is a peak moment as this astrology is coming in, my friends. A peak moment. And that peak has everything to do with the fact that you probably had a soul contract to be here. You probably lined up to come to planet Earth in this moment. You wanted to be here. It may feel a little crazy right now, but someday we'll be looking back on this and going, I was here, and it was a pivotal moment. And so a lot of times what I like to do is actually place my hand on my heart and just breathe. When we're doing coherent breath, we want to breathe up. We want to squeeze our perineum. We want to straighten our spine. We want to open and expand our chest. There's a lot of sensational news going on right now. There's a lot to unpack in the world right now. And it's super duper important that you personally hold your own vibration. So the first thing you want to do is breathe. Just connect first to the ground. And the way I do that is to drop an anchor. Go from the tailbone down into the earth and just feel like I am connecting to the center of the earth, into the ground beneath me. I'm going to bring the earth energy through my legs and also into my hip bones and into my perineum. That entire part of my body should have earth energy, and then I want to breathe it up into my belly, into my lower back. This is the sacral. And then I'm going to breathe it into the solar plexus, opening and expanding my field and all the way to my heart. Then I'm going to imagine bringing a beautiful light down and expanding that way, connecting to the unique sun's ray. I'm going to bring that energy from above, the divine light, in and invite myself to be a vessel of receiving the light. Kabbalah means to be the vessel or to receive the light. And so you're bringing the light in and you're bringing the earth energy up, and that earth energy should be given all the way through above your crown, and the energy from above should be going all the way down and out to the earth. Make sure you're including your arms and your legs, and both sets of flow is coming through your body. Then imagine that you have a beautiful ball of light around you. It should be at the extension of your fingertips. It should be above you and below you, in front of you and behind you. It creates an entire field, and everything inside that field should belong to you. So once a day, if not more, especially this week, in the next 2 weeks, and all the way through the eclipse portal, my invitation to you is to see if there's anything in that field that isn't yours, doesn't belong to you. Go ahead and say, if this doesn't belong to me, any soul fragments, any projections, any of the news, anything that's being siphoned to me, I close it down, because we don't want to be giving our energy away, and we don't want to be taking energy in. Right now, spiritual hygiene, collecting your own energy and removing everyone else's, is going to be so essential for holding the strongest field. So you're letting go of anything inside of your body or your field that isn't yours. If it has come through the news, if it has come through the collective, if you felt it empathically, if you have been siphoning it from your friends, your family, your social media, the news, wherever it's coming from, you want to release that. Any energy that's not yours, and send it out of your body. And you can just say, it is anything that is not mine is released. Seal up your field, because after you're done talking to somebody, after you're done watching the news, after you're done scrolling, seal the energy field. You don't want any hooks, cords, or open windows in your own energy field. Just like your phone, when you close all of those windows off of your computer or your phone, you want to do that. That way you're not in the middle of the night thinking about what you read on social media, or having that person who is having a total meltdown siphoning your energy right now. You want to be clear right now. It's your energy, and invite then the energy of unconditional love into your field as a refill. It's yours. It's just like plugging your phone into a battery. You just need to invite source light to recharge you every single day, as many times as you need, until you feel full or overflowing. Just invite it in. I'm inviting myself to be refilled. I'm inviting myself to be restabilized. I'm inviting my field of light to be coherent. What I want to feel is unconditional love. Because if I can start feeling, and in this case, you start feeling unconditional love for yourself, you're going to raise your vibration. Just like you're raising the channel on the radio to a different channel. You're tuning in to the love frequency. So you're going to change your mind. You're going to change your channel. This isn't spiritual bypassing. This is actually energetic maintenance and hygiene, so that you can come to every conversation, everything from a higher perspective. From that perspective, we're not in crisis mode. When we're in wholeness, when we're in completeness, when nobody's in our field, and we now feel whole and refilled and restored, then we can start sending unconditional love to others. We can start being the one that does the band-aids and the tying the knots in other people's field. We can start supporting others. Now, the difference when I say support others isn't to literally take it from them. Imagine that you are sending them a package of unconditional love. Feel sending them light, love, compassion, but don't take it from you. You're not giving them your energy. You're giving them divine energy. The energy comes directly from source. You're seeing them full. You're seeing them light. You're seeing them whole. The word namaste says, I see the divinity in me. I see the divinity in you. I see the divinity in the world. I recognize that divinity. So what you're doing when you're sending someone unconditional love is you're recognizing the divine in them and helping them return to their wholeness. And we can do this for the whole planet. You can send it out to anyone and everyone that's needed. You can do this for an individual experience that you're seeing. If you're seeing something happening in Australia and you want to send unconditional love to anyone and everyone who's open to it in Australia, you can say it that way. You can send it to individual people, but it's kind of like a package. You can send it and they can choose to take it or not. I am going to invite it to come directly from source energy and not from your own personal field. What is needed right now is you to maintain the highest vibration you possibly can. If that means do more meditations, if that means walk in nature, if it's warm enough. Like I'm in Florida, so it's great. I know my northern friends, it might not be go take a walk, but you could meditate. You could do breathing exercises. You can do extreme self-care. This is literally the 2 weeks, maybe the next month, of extreme self-care. This means don't engage. This means this perhaps isn't the 2 or 3 weeks you want to socialize with that negative friend. It is okay to be in self-care, and that means having the discernment of only having phone calls and life experiences with people who raise your vibration. Be in places that raise your vibration. I'm doing a little mini retreat this weekend so that I can raise my vibration. If you are interested in raising the vibration and your frequency in person in Orlando on Monday, the 16th, the day before the year of the fire horse starts, the new moon, the day before the solar eclipse, we're going to be doing a live Egyptian oil temple and sound healing with Patrick at the Urban Ashram. So you can start as an in-person. If you are wanting to really capitalize on the first day of the year of the fire horse, February 17th, the day of the solar eclipse. It's a ring of fire solar eclipse, a new moon, and the first day of the year of the fire horse. We will be having our new live gatherings on Zoom, and we'll be having a Living Magically live gathering. You can buy that individually, or it's included in our membership, our Living Magically membership. So with this time frame, what are you thinking about? It's the ultimate new moon, and it's the beginning of a new 60-year cycle in the lunar cycles, the Asian zodiac. It is on the February 20th, there is an astrological point, which is a conjunction between Neptune and Saturn, which is the end and the beginning point. That's the thing that people have been talking about for years as a once-in-a-lifetime experience for us. And so this next week, the week we're in, is about removing anything that keeps us in a lower vibration, or even if it's just eliminating it for the time being, so you can be in your personal best space as we move into the frequency of the year of the fire horse. So what last little bit of shedding do you need to do? And as always, I do spiritual housekeeping, physical housekeeping before the Lunar New Year. I do body housekeeping where I'm going to be meditating and even perhaps doing a little bit of fasting before that new year and that new moon, I am going to minimize any negative experiences that I could choose to have or not have. So if I have to do it, obviously I'm going to do it. But if it's an optional experience, I'm going to choose my own peace. I'm going to prioritize my peace. I'm going to prioritize my own high frequency. And that's the invitation I give to you. What do you do right now to, instead of be in resentment or anger or frustration, what can you do to be feeling more hopeful? Because we are entering new earth. We are entering a new timeline. And I call this the peace timeline. While I do believe there is a lot coming that will be necessary for us in the coming year to move through as a collective, you're seeing the collective break. We're seeing the things that have to happen for a new reality. And this goes on a personal level as well as a collective level. First, when something isn't the way you want it, you must have change. And that is what's happening. You might be feeling like you need to make a big quantum jump or a big leap. We're seeing that in the collective. It's time to get clear on what that is. And if you don't have clarity on what you want, one of the ways to start gaining clarity is to gain and think about what you no longer want. And that might have been good for you at one point. Things that maybe you're just complete. It might be a hobby that you did and you've learned everything you need from it. Or maybe you're not physically as capable of it anymore. Maybe it just doesn't bring you the joy that it used to. Try some new things. Try them on for size. We go to the mall to go shopping and we try on a bunch of clothes and shoes or whatever before we buy. This is a good time to be trying new things, trying things on, hanging out with people to see if they feel like the right fit, and it's okay if they're not. So this is a time for kind of like dating yourself. And I mean that when I say, how would you treat your own best friend? How would you treat your favorite lover, husband, wife? How would you treat your favorite pet? How would you treat a young child that you're responsible for? In this case, I invite you to treat yourself that way. We have the experience of Valentine's Day this weekend. So my invitation to you is that you love yourself as much as you possibly can. Forgive yourself, accept yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and say, you beautiful, gorgeous thing. It is that time to really claim your power, your divinity, your acceptance of self, and look at who you are, who you're becoming, what you're awakening to, and what is possible. This is a time for fully creating the vision of what you desire instead of giving energy to the chaos of what I don't want. So you're going to say, I recognize that this isn't what I want, and I release that. I recognize that this is no longer who I am, and I release that. I'm going to recognize this no longer brings me joy, and so I can let go of the reality that was. And you can thank it, of course. You can very Marie Kondo your life. Thank you. I appreciate you. This was once who I was, but it doesn't represent where I'm going. And that can be clutter and items of belongings that you have. Like, I just released a board game that I know I will never play. I just let go of some magical tools to another, I gave them away to another person because they're in the early stages of their practice, and I have new tools that I've collected in my travels that I know I'll use instead. It's okay to recognize you're upgrading and up leveling. So breathe that energy up. Create the field of coherence. See yourself as elevating, rising above the masses. Don't tap into the negative. Be the lighthouse that is shining light into the dark places. Be the lighthouse that is creating a new reality, and visualize it. Imagine it. Create in your mind's eye the world you want to see. Create in your mind's eye the heart you want to have. Create in your physical field the emotion that you want to be living. So it might feel a little crazy to be like, I'm going to connect to joy. And yet, if you do that, you're going to raise your body out of fight or flight. You want to love your body. You want to love your life. You want to do as much as you possibly can to be having a romance with your life. Fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with your life. Fall in love with who you're becoming. Remember why you're here and connect to that destiny point. If there's a soul level desire that you have, start eliminating everything that isn't that. That's how we create a new identity. We eliminate everything that isn't that. And the other thing you do is you connect to, if I am going to be, let's use millionaire as an example. What does a millionaire do? What would a millionaire not do? Start eliminating the things that you wouldn't do as a millionaire and start doing the things that would get you there, or that be in the frequency of the version of you that already has it. Same thing as if you're feeling a little bit lonely, because I do know that Valentine's Day can be a big trigger for some people. But that's why I invite you to be your own beloved. Love yourself even stronger. I remember a Valentine's Day, maybe 15 years ago. I had never bought myself flowers before in my entire life. And those of you who know me now know I always have flowers. I have roses right over there. It's important for you, if you are waiting for someone to do it for you or give it to you, that you just take that step and get it for yourself. In fact, people give me flowers all the time because I made that step, and I was the version of me that constantly has live flowers. I was the version of me that created beauty in my environment. If you don't like the way things are happening in your life, change something. Make your environment beautiful. Make yourself a priority. And at this point, extreme self-care is the answer for this week. And never, ever are you going to have a week, a month, more important to take care of yourself, your frequency, and your vibration than right now. So as the year of the snake comes to completion, we take our snake, my little wooden snake that I picked up in Egypt, and we say thank you. Thank you. It's time to expand. Thank you. It's time to become. Thank you. We are going to ignite the version of us with the year of the fire horse that is always meant to be. The fire horse brings in the energy of momentum and freedom. So if you feel like you're at a pregnant pause, you feel like nothing's moving, that's normal. This is the last dark moon. The moon is getting smaller and smaller in the sky. It's still winter in the northern hemisphere. So we're in this pregnant pause right before the spark ignites, right before the momentum happens. So this is that last release, that pregnant pause, the time to go into imagining where you're going, connecting to the version of you that's becoming, and awakening. Because it's going to be a very Phoenix time. I actually pulled the initiation card this morning. The time between the 16th of February, which is the day before the new fire horse energy, is the beginning of the Phoenix transformation. We have a lot of Aries energy that's going to be igniting. We have a lot of fire energy that's going to be burning down old paradigms. And we have a lot of planets that are moving into Aries. So this is that Pisces, that little bit of the last bit of Piscean energy, the Aquarian energy, changing to the new world. And as we do that, we're going to start seeing next week as the big change. From the 16th, when we're in that last final day of the snake, do our final shed and our great expansion into the day on Tuesday. Tuesday's the day we will start feeling the ignition of the fire horse, the first day that we will ignite with that solar eclipse. And we call that a dragon head eclipse when it's the first one is the solar. And then we have 2 weeks from that solar eclipse into a lunar eclipse on March 3rd. And in the middle of that, we're also going to have Mercury retrograde. So we have this eclipse portal, and Mercury retrograde starts its shadow period on the 11th. So this means that from here on out, please be impeccable with your word. Please be rechecking your emails, your text messages, and the things you say. Say things that you're meaning to. Definitely create boundaries. Be impeccable with what you will do and what you won't do. Say yes when you mean it. Say no. And don't give a maybe. Don't, it's yes or no. Be impeccable and don't be forced into anything that doesn't feel right unless it's absolutely mandatory. Double check your airline tickets and your orders and the things that you put into play, because this is a season where we're going to be really looking at who we communicate with and how. And know that we are creating a new reality. There's a huge shift with Neptune changing to personal spirituality. This is going to be where you become your own guru. Instead of looking for your spirituality outside of you, this is going to be where the spirituality becomes real over the next 12 years, right? So this is the time where our communication needs to change. And so be loving, be kind, but be firm and be self-resourced. You're not looking for anything from someone else. You're looking to be interdependent with another person instead of codependent. This will be the era, the next probably year will be the era where a lot of us who have had any kind of codependency is going to have to clean that up so that we can be our own highest version of ourselves, and our relationships will transcend into their best selves as well. In that, some relationships will fall away. Some people will need to change careers because it is no longer authentic for them. It's also sometimes people are going to need to change locations because it's no longer effective for them. It's not that it wasn't good for them. There's a lot of things that were good for us that are no longer who we are becoming. So thank the things that you're changing for what they've given you, because you couldn't be the version of you without them. So this isn't about the struggle being a bad thing or that something you're changing was bad. This is about I am changing because I'm becoming, and it no longer resonates with me. So you're going to see a lot of people make bold personality changes because they're becoming and resonating differently. Try really hard not to take it personally. The book, The Four Agreements, is really good for that. Try to be impeccable with your word, do your best, and don't take things personally. So I know it's a little bit more than I normally do, and you might find that's going to be true next week too. This is the time. This is the time to connect to your highest timeline, connect to your own highest self, and to really co-create the life that you have always been dreaming of. This is a beautiful moment if you choose to take it that way. This is an opportunity for you to become your highest version of yourself and design your life to live the life you were always meant to live. But to do that, we must let go of the old one. So again, if you are available, please come join us in person next Monday night for a beautiful sound healing and Egyptian oil temple at the Urban Ashram. And most importantly, join us on February 17th for our big Year of the Fire Horse new moon solar eclipse activation. And with that, have a really beautiful week. Be magical and just love yourself just a little bit more gently than you ever have before. And remember, live magically. I love you.